There are three core problems that are happening in the hotel industry. Imagine now having AI actually do that for me. This would save so much time, right?
You will not have 20 tabs open. Point number one is you have to own your data. Hospitality industry is facing a lot of changes in 2026. A lot of new challenges come to the horizon. And with that, we want to kick off with Nico to talk about what is your view on that.
Yeah, so I'll start with the bigger picture here. What actually is and what we see at the moment is that there are three core problems that are happening in the hotel industry. I'll start with the first one. This is all about the operation systems. So at the moment, there is still a lot of manual work that is done from the hotels, which can be quite a lot automated, especially with AI nowadays. So this shift is happening a lot, especially in 2026, and we see how more and more hotels, they want to optimize their processes. The challenge here is actually that the systems are quite old, and we still see a lot of old PMS systems, legacy systems that prevent actually having one source of truth. So we see a lot of challenges around that area where you cannot integrate with your calendar, for example, or you cannot integrate your booking experience or accounting software. And this is a big problem in the hotel industry because if you don't have the data correct, you see spread around into multiple places, and this actually makes more operational work as well. The second challenge that we also see is around the booking experience. This year, especially with AI, we see the shift transitioning more from instead of going on Google, searching the old way, scrolling through different websites to make a booking of your hotel. Now we see that people more and more start trusting AI. And they want to have, for example, an AI agent that is going and making the whole booking for them with the flights, with the hotels, and have a self check-in. So we see this shift at the moment where hotels wants to provide more personalized experience, and this is also what we see from the expectations of the guests, right? They want more personalized experience. It's not about only, hey, I want to make a booking and I'm waiting to see what will happen. It's more like personalization per your desired wishes and expectations. And the third problem that we see quite a lot in the hotel industry that is happening at the moment is actually around the adoption of new technology. We see a lot that technology is way up front and hotels cannot really actually catch up with the latest tech trends. And the reason why hotels want to invest more in technology and digitalization as well is because of operational costs. So the operational costs rise and they want to automate some of the processes and also provide a better experience. So we still see most of the hotels actually facing this challenge of new technology and how can actually this help them in the long run. So based on these three challenges that we see in the hotel industry, I want to actually touch upon what we see this year with requests from the hotels that come to us and how tech actually can help for solving some of these challenges.
Yeah. Well, the first one from a perspective of legacy PMS systems, obviously we realize that it's very difficult if you have worked multiple years with a specific PMS system to change it in a few days, right? However, platforms like Muse, they allow to make the switch easier, and also very importantly, they're focused on cloud-based, and they have a very open policy from a perspective of open APIs that you can connect and use the information already and integrate the platforms. So there's definitely a shift from a need that data is more open and via APIs you have access to that data. Because that transitions to the second point of the whole booking journey that currently exists is, as you shared, the very standard way towards in 2026 with using AI booking engines. Because with the personalization, with the ability to really make it the flow as personal to you, some people are actually very experienced at booking things. Some people are not very experienced and they don't know what to search for. And if you don't have the platform and the PMS system that allows for you to build agents and chat functionalities on top of your existing data, you're going to be start falling behind on these personalization journeys.
Yeah. And maybe I can add something here because I recently traveled to New Zealand and it was quite interesting to see from the other side as a guest. So, one of the things that actually was always frustrating me is that I spent a lot of time comparing hotels and also understanding what's included in
Yes.
the price and is it available for this particular date. Um, and throughout this experience, obviously, I had to plan a lot for New Zealand. Imagine now having AI actually do that for me. This
Yeah.
would save so much time, right?
Yeah. You will not have 20 tabs open.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that always looking from a guest point of view, how you can optimize your experience, I think it's really important. And one of the things that we also see at the moment is that obviously we need the data to be there for AI to support,
100%.
right? But also your website. And that's where we also see because if your website is not optimized and there is not enough content, probably AI will not recommend also your hotel.
Yeah.
So investing in more rich context and providing more understanding on your website and what you offer, also about it could be other things, right? Your hotel is, for example, based in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
You can touch upon a lot of topics around what's happening in Amsterdam so that you can attract these guests.
Yeah, and in the end, most likely, and what we're seeing in the shift is that a lot of people are now searching through the popular platforms like ChatGPT or with Google Gemini, and just Google itself
Yeah,
is having so much AI in their search engine that potentially maybe after 26, so that's more towards the future, this agent to agent communication that your agent that is for your hotel um, has all the information that these searching engines can talk to, or your personal agent can talk
yeah,
to, that they're communicating, and they can pretty much like a travel agency
yeah.
personalize your experience as much as possible towards these your need. But again, you touched it upon, which is very important. You have to have access to that data. Without the data, the agent is just another chatbot that answer generic questions.
Yeah, so maybe you can touch upon like how can we provide this personalization in the AI era?
With the most important part is, if with your data, that is sort of a very big engine of your personalization, right?
Hmm.
Because you within your data you have also your availabilities,
Yeah,
you have what type of hotels you have information about. Now people spend so much time writing this perfect description of your hotel room or the view and everything. That's sort
yeah,
of personalization. And very important, you also have the restrictions, right? A lot of hotels within, let's say, the summer periods don't allow you to book less than 3 days, or
yeah,
specific days are only open. All of that is personalization, is your specific flow and your specific rules and descriptions of your hotel. So pretty much you have all of the data already needed to personalize
hmm,
what you can provide to your users. But then on top of that, we provide custom instructions and ability to make it feel with the tone of voice and your brand
yeah.
guidelines of how you want your guest experience to be.
And I think one something that we also see nowadays with more questions from the hotels towards us is like, hey, how can we have one unified, centralized profile for our guests? Meaning, I want to have one place where I can see all the data and vlogs and everything in one area of these guests.
Yeah.
So it's because the problem now is that you have a system with for accounting, a system like a PMS system, and maybe another one, but they are not communicating to each other. And this challenge, you basically don't know that somebody was in your hotel maybe last year, or what did they order in your lobby, right?
Yeah.
And having one centralized place for your guests, this will actually have the data in one place, and then you can provide more personalization.
Yeah, I mean, indeed, because it's not only about booking, right? It's all about, okay, you have of course like the services, which are the cleaning services, right? The breakfast, the
Yeah,
dinner, All of this is information that you can gather of, like, maybe for example, when your guests previously were leaving out the room, so you can provide the perfect experience for them to clean up their room, etc. Or what type of food allergies they have, what food they like, what they didn't like. All of that information, if you centralize it and you have access to it, the next time I come and I communicate with your AI agent or even with your website, this will be personalized for me, right?
Yep.
We're not even talking now only about AI agents. You touched upon a bit how important is also your website and your pages.
Yep.
We're moving towards web pages being personalized only for you. Instead of me seeing an image, let's say, of the pool
Yep.
and that I didn't use, I will see an image of the seaside because that's where I spent most of my time.
Yep.
So all of that is information that you need to be able to gather, and it needs to be ideally in one place for you to utilize the best user experience and personalize it.
Yeah, and I think in the end, as a hotel and hotel manager, for me, it's really important to increase our revenue and more reservations, right? So the bookings. How can we achieve that, right? So we see more and more requests from hotels that they want to provide faster checkouts, faster
Yes.
booking experience, especially on their websites, because you cannot only rely on search engines and also like platforms like booking.com or Airbnb. You want to increase your online presence, and that's why you also have websites,
Yeah.
right?
And you want people to book through your website.
And you want,
Obviously, for many reasons about fees, etc. But also you have so much different type of groups that potentially can book your hotel. You can have from people who maybe are using a computer or a phone once a month, right, to people who are very native. So for them, like, the searching could be super complicated, right? Or your calendar can be super complicated. They cannot understand, is it now available? Is it restricted? They're having questions. They're picking up the phone. They're asking you stuff. So you have to accommodate so much different amount of group people that you have to move toward personalization in
yeah.
order to achieve more bookings.
And I think you touched upon earlier the legacy systems, right? So the reason why you cannot also provide faster checkout, better booking experience is because you need to somehow guide the user, but you have to go through so many processes of filling your
Exactly.
data, filling your calendar, sync availability, and that provides a lot of frustration. So the user drops out and they're like, oh, it takes too much time for booking. I don't know, actually, is this available? Am I doing a request or am I
Yep.
actually booking? Right. So I think there is a recent case study that we had where we looked into how can we optimize this flow, especially with meals. And what maybe you can share a bit, what did we do there?
The two main points that we focused and we touched upon is the searching part
Yeah.
and the calendar.
Yeah.
So on the searching part, we have seen that the shift is moving more and more towards simplicity.
Okay.
Like, you don't want to have we didn't even have more filters. We just had like 5 filters on the top bar where you can select what dates you want to have, some specifications about, is it dog friendly, is it there are fireplaces, quick filters, and then an important one, a view of the availability for each of the rooms there. Like, it was easily for you to see, is it available through the month when it was available.
Okay.
Because we see also a shift of, you don't need to book one room and just stay only there. Maybe you book one room through the first few weeks and you see another one available after a few days and you just do a quick switch, or a hotel does that for you. So the simplicity of the searching was the main focus, and that's where we really focused also phase one.
Yep.
Um, and
Yeah, maybe I can touch upon here as well. Something that we also see quite a lot being asked is, hey, how can we provide more dynamic pricing?
yes, indeed.
Maybe you can also share about that.
Yeah, with the dynamic pricing, that touches upon on the phase of when you're sort of already in the details of the calendar. But dynamic pricing is really something that we see as real results, is that once you implement it, you're starting to see actually your revenue grow.
Yeah.
Despite that, you have days or weeks throughout the year that you're charging less for what
Yeah.
you're usually charging. And that is because we are seeing the opportunity for people having the ability to book a specific period because prices are lower and the volume then increases. And again, we're touching upon about the
Yep.
data part. If you have the information on the bookings and the periods of time and the volume, you actually can on the spot calculate dynamic pricings, and that's something that we have been thinking through and doing through in different phases of okay, how can we use that data in order to utilize at the best all of your properties that
Yep.
you're managing.
So to wrap up this conversation, what are the 3 takeaways we can take from today?
Point number one is you have to own your data. And if possible, have that data in one place so you can access it as easy as possible. And point number two is we see through 2025, but also that trend will continue. Data is become more and more valuable, and you can use it for building AI agents. You can personalize your website. More and more of these tools will come up that will use your data in order to make your experience more and more personalized. Also, next to that, you have to use a PMS that is allowing for these type of integrations to read that information and not to use PMSs that are closed. And number three is all about operational efficiency. Yes, you may have that data and that is going to be focused on personalize the booking experience, but all of other things that you have to do managing hotels like the cleaning, the food perspective, all of these operational activities also can use that data in order to make your flow more efficient.
So if you want to learn more about the hotel industry and the latest tech trends, check out our website on codelevate.com. We have more than 100 resources available for you.